Now in this lesson we're looking at the area of composite shapes. Now some shapes are a combination of two or more plane shapes. Alright, that's when we refer to them as composite shapes. Now with these sort of shapes we need to divide the original shape into smaller plane shapes, and then we find the area of each of the shapes separately. So to illustrate, if we have a shape like that, and it looks like an L shape, doesn't it? If we draw a line across there, we've divided it into two separate rectangles. Alright, they are plane shapes. Let's consider this shape. Looks like the front of a house, doesn't it? If we drew a line as such, we've broken it up into a rectangle and triangle. Now this shape's a little bit different again. We need to break it up like that. Alright, that's one way of breaking up. Three separate rectangles in this case. Now let's see how we can apply that idea to some examples. We need to find the area of this shape firstly. Looks like an L shape again. Well, if we can draw a line across there, and we'll mark the top rectangle as A1, standing for Area 1, the bottom one A2, Area 2. And let's work out each of the separate areas. Area 1 firstly, it's a rectangle, so we write that it equals length times breadth, where the length is 7 and the breadth is 5. So it equals 7 times 5, and that works out to be 35 square centimetres. Moving on now to the Area 2. Well, again, it is a rectangle, so length times breadth. Length is 12 and the breadth is 8. So it equals 12 times 8, and that works out to be 96 square centimetres. Now, of course, we need the whole area. So the area equals Area 1 plus Area 2. So there's our Area 1, we add the Area 2, and you can see, yes, that gives us the total area. So what about other numbers? There's 35 and 96, Area 1 and Area 2. So we add the two numbers, 35 and 96, and that works out to be 131 square centimetres. Terrific. Example 2. We're asked to find this area. Again, it's an L shape, but spun around if you like. Let's break it up. Area 1, Area 2. Area 1 is a rectangle, so it equals the length times the breadth. The length is 10, the breadth is 3. So it equals 10 times 3, and that works out to be 30. This time in metres, so we write metres squared. Now what about Area 2? Well, it's a rectangle again, so length times breadth. This time though, we can see that the breadth is 4. What about the length? Okay, it's a little bit different from the previous one. We're not exactly told directly what that length is. We'll need to work it out. So let's just focus on that for the moment. We can see that the full height there of the shape is 9. And part of the height there is 3. So we need to find the other part. It would have to be 6, such that the 3 and the 6 together make up the 9. Alright, so it's a bit like when we did some work on perimeter in finding the missing sides. So let's see what we have now. We've got the length is 6 and the breadth is 4. So we know the measurements of this rectangle. So it equals 6 times 4, and that area will equal 24 square metres. So the total area then is a combination of adding Area 1 and Area 2. Area 1 there and Area 2 together make up the total area. So working that out, we have 30 and 24 to add. So we write that down, and when we add the two, we get 54 square metres. Terrific. Example 3. Now, let's have a look at this one. There's a couple of ways of doing this. We could break it up the way we've been doing the last two, or I'll show you another technique. And that technique is to consider the whole shape there. Let's say the whole rectangle was shaded in or coloured in, and we take that part away, and that would give us our shape we want. So we're considering the whole rectangle, a big rectangle, working out a smaller rectangle and subtracting it away. So let's see how we could write that down. We consider firstly the area of the full rectangle. We call that area of the big one. Length times breadth. The length is 15, the breadth is 12. So let's write that down. And that calculates to be 180 square centimetres. Now, the next step was to find this area of the smaller rectangle. So area small, length times breadth, where the length is 7 and the breadth, once again, unknown. We need to work that out. So let's just concentrate on that. We can see that that full distance there is 15 centimetres, and we have a 4 centimetres there and a 6 centimetres there. Now 4 and 6 is 10, which means that we need 5 centimetres in that place to make up the full 15. Let's have a look. We've got 4 and 5, it's 9, and 6 more is 15. That makes up that full length of 15 centimetres. Right, now, smaller rectangle, 7 centimetres and 5 centimetres are our length and breadth. So it equals 7 times 5, the area, and that works out to be 35 square centimetres. Now, to find the area of this original shape, remember what we did? We considered the area equals the area of the big minus the area of the small. Let's have a look at that again. That's the area, that's the big, there's the big area there, and we found out the small area and take it away. Take it away. So area big minus area small is 180 and minus the 35. So we write that down. 180 subtract 35, and that works out to be 145 square centimetres. Fantastic. Our fourth and final example for this lesson, we need to find the shaded area. Now again, what we're going to do here is consider a subtraction involved. If we consider the whole rectangle was shaded, the big one, and we found that smaller one and took it away, that would give us the area required. So we're thinking along those lines. So we write the area of the big shape, the big rectangle, length times breadth. Length is 20, the breadth is 12, so it equals 20 times 12, and that works out to be 240 square centimetres. Then we need to find the area of the smaller rectangle, which is 9 by 7. So it equals 9 times 7, and that is 63 square centimetres. This stage then, the shaded area is the area of the big shape, subtract the area of the smaller one. So remember, let's have a look at the diagram. That's the whole shape, the big shape I'm talking about, and we're subtracting that smaller area. So there we have it. So it would be 240 minus the 63. Write that down. And that works out to be 177 square centimetres. Excellent. Right, well that concludes the lesson, a fairly long lesson today. Good luck with your questions.